do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the male children alive. In other words, where the fear of God is present, your life is safe. Where the fear of God is not present, people violate the commandment, thou shalt not kill. Notice Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verses 11 to 13. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verses 11 to 13. And by the way, Solomon knows what he's talking about. Because Solomon, he went off on a tangent away from the Lord for years. He became almost an atheist. He became an infidel. So he knows what he's talking about. He wrote the book of Ecclesiastes when he was an old man and he had returned to the Lord. And he's telling people what life is like away from God. Notice, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, in other words, just because a person doesn't suffer the penalty for sin right away, therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. And then he says, though a sinner does evil 100 times, and his days are prolonged, yet I surely know that it will be well with those who, what? Fear God, who fear before Him. But it will not be well with the wicked. Did you catch that? It will not be well with the wicked, nor will he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he does not what? Fear before the Lord. What does it mean to not fear God? It means to be wicked. What does it mean to fear God? It means to be righteous. And the days of the righteous are prolonged. But the days of the wicked are not. You say, well, I know a lot of people that have lived, wicked people that have lived a long time. Yes. Have they lived eternally? You see, when the Bible says that the righteous will live a long time, it's not only talking about this brief period in human history, it's talking about living forever. Now, let's notice Romans 3 and verses 10 through 18. Here the Apostle Paul is describing the sinfulness of the human race. And I want you to notice how he ends this passage. Romans chapter 3 and verse 10. It's a pretty sad description of the sinfulness of the human race. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks after God. They have all turned aside. They have together become unprofitable. There is none who does good. No, not one. Their throat is an open tomb. With their tongues, they have practiced deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways. And the way of peace they have not known. And now notice how the passage ends. It's described all of this wickedness, and then it says, there is no fear of God before their eyes. Why is it that you have all of this list of wickedness? Because people have no what? They have no fear of God before their eyes. Let me ask you then, do you think that the first angel's message is talking about the importance of being obedient to God and following what He says in His holy law? Absolutely. Now let's notice when the 10 Commandments were given, God said something very interesting to Israel a little bit later on. Notice what we find in Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verses 10 to 13. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verses 10 to 13. Here, Moses is reminiscing about what happened on Mount Horeb when God gave the law.